Hi guys, welcome back to our class. And today our chapter is coordination chemistry. It's a very important topic, as you know that in every exam, whatever the exam it may be, maybe NET or GET or SET, whatever the exam it may be, at least three questions will come from this chapter. So listen carefully. So before going to concepts, I just want to give the introduction to the coordination chemistry. So actually, what is a coordination compound? So coordination compound is a molecule which contain metal at the center, and that metal is bound by ligands. That ligands may be ions, molecules or atoms. So that is a coordination compound. So coordination compound is, we will get a general formula, okay, just to denote how to denote the coordination compound. Okay. So suppose coordination compound is MLN, suppose like this, or you can write it as MLN, where X to write it here, D1, something like that. So these are the coordination compounds. So in this, what happens is, this is the metal ion which will be in the center, and Ln is the ligands. So N is the number of ligands here. Okay, how many ligands are connected to the bound to the metal? And what is this here? Ax or By. Ax is a cation, By is anion. That means whenever you want to write the cations, you have to write the left side. Okay, whenever you want to write the anions, you have to write this side. So just we'll take some compounds like this. This is a general formula. Okay, so metal, suppose K3, FeCN6. So now see here, metal is iron and ligands are Cn cyanides. Okay, 6 cyanides. Remember, we have taken 6 here. Octahedral compound we have taken here. So K3 is cation only, right? So cation. So when you want to write the complex ion from this, so total charge you want to give, then how can you convert it here? Just remember, this is a cation. Okay, when you are converting here, how you have to write it? -3. So whenever you are cancelling it, then you have to write -3 there. Now, so when you want to convert this is an anion, right? So first you write the formula for some compound, you just take it. So how can you do it? Cobalt in H3 taken 6 times, then some Cl3. Okay, so metal, ligands and anion. So when you are converting it into the complex ion, how you have to write here? Cobalt in H3 taken 6 times, then you have to write here in +3. Okay, so you have to write here +3. This way you have to convert it, okay, to the complex ions. Now actually these ligands may be monodentate, bidentate, tridentate, tetradentate, pentadentate and hexadentate. What is this density? What is the density here is ligand. If the ligand is connected to the metal, bound to the metal with one atom, that means only in the ligand, okay, in the ligand only one atom only connected to the metal, one atom only giving the electrons to the metal, then it is monodentate. Okay, suppose from the ligand, if the two atoms are connected, that means from the two atoms, if the metal is taking the electrons, okay, suppose like this. So these two atoms belongs to one ligand only. Okay, it belongs to only one ligand, but the thing is, from one ligand only, two atoms are giving the electrons to the metal. That we call it as a bidentate. If one ligand is giving from three atoms, it is giving the electrons to the metal, that is tridentate. 4 atoms tetradentate, 5 atoms pentadentate, 6 atoms then hexadentate. So these are the density. And now we have to see, I want to give you what are the bidentate ligands. All the ligands I may not give, but some whatever the calculations we have to do, that one will take it, okay. And I want to give you what is dentate ligands and what are the charge on that ligands. While calculating the oxidation state and coordination number, we have to know which is which dentate and what is the charge on that, so that we can calculate the oxidation number, coordination number correctly. Okay, now I'll write down. So now look here, the types of ligands. So types of ligands, bidentate, tridentate, all that. Okay, you just see here, these all are bidentate. From here, tridentate, tetradentate, pentadentate, and hexadentate, monodentate I have written here. Types of ligands. Only some of them I have written, and some more is also there. If you want, you can write it. Otherwise, these are actually important. Mostly we will see this type of ligands. So in the exams, okay. If you want to note down all this, you just pause the video and you note down. Okay. Now you just look here. Oxalate. Oxalate short form will be OX or C2O4. Okay. The charge on that will be -2. The charge will be, you have to take the charge on that -2. Okay, that is bidentate. Now, glycinato. Glycinato, short form will be GLY. In the complexes, they will give GLY. Only whole the name it won't give. They won't give. So, glycinato is GLY and charge on that will be -1 and it is bidentate. Next, dimethyl glyoxymato. So DMG, mostly this compound will see, okay. DMG, it has a charge on that -1 and it is bidentate. Dimethyl glyoxime, HDMG, oxime, glyoxime. So it has taken hydrogen again, so it has become 0. Okay, DMG. Suppose HDMG is there. If you want to write DMG, if you are taking out H out, then -1 it will become, right? So DMG -1, HDMG will be 0 again. That means again it has taken hydrogen into the complex, then it has become 0 here. Oxidation number. Then denticity is bidentate. Next, acetyl acetonate, ACAC. Acetyl acetonate, the charge on that will be -1 and it is also bidentate. Now you see here, ethylene diamine, EN, it is also very important. Ethylene diamine, it is a neutral compound, okay, and it is bidentate. So till here we have written bidentate. Now comes to tridentate. Diethylene triamine. See here, ethylene diamine, EN, that is bidentate. Here, diethylene triamine, diene, that is neutral compound, that is and it is tridentate. And imino-diacetate, IDA, imino-diacetate. So it is also neutral compound and it is tridentate. Then you come to tetradentate. Triethylene tetraamine. So you just same type of compound it is. See here, ethylene diamine, diethylene triamine. Next, triethylene tetraamine. So here, ethylene diamine is bidentate, diethylene triamine is tridentate, triethylene tetraamine is tetradentate. You just try to remember like that. So, but these all are neutral ligands. Come here. Ethylene diamine triacetate. Ethylene diamine triacetate. EDTA is also very, very important. Okay. HEDTA is -3 charge on that and it is pentadentate. Fine. Okay. Next, ethylene diamine tetraacetate, that is EDTA, and the charge will be -4 and hexadentate. Now you look at here, trialkyl phosphine, phenyl group, or charge will be 0. It is a neutral ligand and it is monodentate. Then you see here, amido group is also charge will be -1 and monodentate will be there. Now from all this, what we can do from here, just for this compounds, whatever the complexes I have written here, coordination compounds, just to find out the oxidation number and coordination number. Oxidation state and coordination number. See here, oxidation state of vanadium you have to find out. Okay, now just look here how I am calculating it. So whatever the atom that you have to find, first you take it as a X plus oxygen, right? Oxygen has a charge -2 on it, right? -2, you just take it, plus AC. What is the charge on the acetyl acetate? Charge on the acetyl acetate, AC. What is the charge on the acetyl acetate? -1, right? So -1. How many -1s are there? 2, right? So here you get -2 is equal to, on the complexes you don't have anything, so you are writing 0. So how can you calculate now? X -2 will become -4. 0. X is equal to +4. So what is the oxidation state now? +4. Now what is the coordination number? Suppose Y, you just take Y is the coordination number. So what is the denticity of this one? You know that oxygen is a monodentate. Only oxygen is giving electrons to the metal. So it is monodentate. So 1 will come here, 1. And what is the denticity of ACAC? Acetyl acetate. What is the density of acetyl acetate? Bidentate. So bidentate means 2 2s are 4. And this one is only 1. So it is this is coordination number is 5, right? 1 oxygen, and this is bidentate. How many bidentate are there? Dentates are there? 2. So 2 2s are 4, and it one is 5. So it is 5 coordination number. Coordination number is 5, and oxidation number is +4. Calculate fastly. So this is X, PPH3. PPH3 is a neutral ligand, right? So trialkyl phosphine. So neutral ligand 300 only, plus what is the charge on the chlorine? -1, right? So here -3 will come here. It is a neutral compound, so 0 we have written here. So X -3 is equal to 0. X is equal to +3. Oxidation state is +3. Then what is the coordination number? Coordination number is, it is a monodentate, right? Monodentate. Trialkyl phosphine, PPH3 or PCH3 taken 3 times, like that. Okay. So it is a neutral ligand and it is monodentate. Only phosphor will donate the electron. So here 3 are there. So number of ligands are 6. So coordination number is 6. Now you calculate here bromine X, right? Plus what is the OX? OX is oxalate. The charge on that is -2 and it is bidentate, right? So here you have to write -2, that is 3 are there, is equal to -3. Now X, 3 2s are 6, -6. When -6 goes that side, +6 it will become. So X is equal to +3 will come here. So oxidation state is +3. Now what is the coordination number? How many ligands are connected? Actually OX is bidentate. How many bidentates are there? 3. That means it is giving 6 atoms are connected to the chromine. So that is coordination number is 6. Electrons are donated by 6 atoms here. So because OX is a bidentate, how many bidentates are there? See here, one OX is giving in the OX 2 atoms are giving electrons to the metal. That type of OXs are, how many are there? 3 are there. That means from each OX atom we are getting 2 atoms are giving electrons to the metal. So that means it is hexa coordination. Coordination number is 6 will come here. Okay, fast calculation. Then X, this is X. What about EDTA? EDTA, right? EDTA. What is the charge on this? -4. It is hexadentate. Okay. So here -4 is equal to -2. On the complex -2 is there. So X -4. -4 it goes if it goes out that side. So +4 will become -2 + 4 is equal to +2. So oxidation number is +2. What is the coordination number here? Coordination number. What is the density of EDTA? hexadenticity. That means 6, right? So coordination number is 6. Now in this is a simple compound. See here. So cobalt, this is a neutral compound. Okay, ammonia is a neutral compound, and so 0 is equal to +3. So oxidation state will be +3, and coordination number, how many ligands are there? 6 ligands. Coordination number is 6. Now you come here, just X, this is a neutral compound, and this is a nitrosyl compound, right? Nitrosyl compound. So what is the charge on the NO? NO plus 1. So +1 is equal to +2. Then X is equal to +1. So oxidation state will be this. If it this one goes that side, then +1 minus 1. Sorry, +2 minus 1 will become +1. So oxidation state is +1. Then what is the coordination number here? 5 H2O molecules are there and 1 NO molecule is there. So NO molecule 1 and 5 H2O molecules. So what is the coordination number here? 6. Coordination number here is 6. So I think you are clear, right, with this, how to find the oxidation state and what is the coordination number. Okay, and what are the denticity of this one, and what are the charges present on the ligands. That is about this one. And one more topic is also there, like about EAN, effective atomic number, and VEC, valence electron configuration. If you have to find out that, first of all you should know what is the strength of the ligands, and what are the valency electrons are present in the D block elements. Okay, now we'll see that. So now you look here. These are the valency electrons of D block elements. So D block elements, whatever the D block elements are there, what are the electronic configuration, what are the valency electrons of that? You can write like this. Just to remember, I'll give a small trick. So try to remember, and this will be useful for calculating EAN, even effective atomic number, valence electronic configuration, and all, and you can find out the hybridization in BBT, right? So first of all you should know how many valence electrons will be there in D block elements. Suppose you start with titanium, right? Titanium, zirconium, hafnium. So it will be in the group, right, from top to down. So first of all, what is the atomic number for titanium? 22, right? So 22, that means in D shell we will be having 2 electrons. D is having 2 and 4s2. Just remember, okay, suppose it is 22, right? Atomic number is 22. So 2, just remember. In D, 2 electrons will be there. Yes, 2 electrons will be there. And down the group same. But the thing is, this is 3D series, 4D series, 5D series. Okay, titanium, zirconium, hafnium. Titanium is having 22 atomic number. So 2 electrons will be there in the D, and 2 electrons in the S2. S2 will be S2 will be common for all that. Okay. S2 will be common for all that, but in D how many electrons are there, that is important. So for 22 we are having D2, and zirconium 4D2, hafnium 5D2. Okay, here also number will be, principal quantum number will be increasing. 4s2, 5s2, 6s2. Now comes to vanadium. Vanadium is 23, right? So in D we have 3 electrons. Okay, D orbitals will have 3 electrons, and in S 2. 3d3, 4s2. Vanadium, rubidium, thallium, whatever, Tm. Okay, Np is 4d3, 5d3. 4s2, 5s2, 6s2. Now, chromium is 24, right? So, 24 means, according to our trick, we have to remember that 3d4, 4s2 should come. But the thing is, that is not a stable configuration of chromium, because 3d5 is a half-filled orbital. So, half-filled orbitals are more stable than 3d4. That's why we are writing here 3d5. Okay, but the thing is, when it comes to down the group, 4 only we'll write here. Chromium, anyway chromium is 3d5, 4s2, that is exceptional case. 3d5, 4s1. Here when it comes to molybdenum, again we write it 4d4, 5s2. Tungsten, 5d4 6s2. That means the 24 is the atomic number, so 4 should come. This is the exceptional case for stability. That's it. Now manganese 25, right? Atomic number is 25. So 3d5 4s2. Technetium 4d5 5s2. Rhenium 5d5 6s2. So the thing is, you have to remember, suppose titanium they have given. So when it comes to down, the same will be the series, but the principal quantum number will be increasing. So titanium, zirconium, hafnium, vanadium, rubidium, thallium, that way. Okay. So manganese 3d5 4s2, technetium 4d5 5s2, rhenium 5d5 6s2. Now comes to iron. Iron will be having the atomic number 26. That means 6 electrons will be there in the D and 4s2. So 3d6 4s2. Iron, ruthenium, osmium. So ruthenium is 4d6 5s2. Osmium is 5d6 6s2. Now comes to cobalt. Cobalt atomic number is 27. That means in the D we will have 7 electrons. So 3d7 4s2. Cobalt down. Okay. Cobalt, rhodium, iridium. So cobalt is 3d7 means rhodium will be 4d7. Then iridium will be 5d7. Okay. But the thing is, you have to remember this one down. So cobalt 3d7 5s2. That means how many valence electrons are there? 9. 9 valence electrons are there. Okay. Next rhodium 4d7 5s2. Iridium is 5d7 6s2. Now come here, nickel. Nickel is having 28. Atomic number is 28. So 3d8. So in D we will having 8 electrons. 3d8 4s2. Nickel, palladium, platinum. So palladium will be having 48 5s2. Platinum will be 5d8 6s2. Now comes to copper. Copper is having atomic number 29. So that means but it has to come 3d9 4s2. But the thing is, D10 is a fulfilled atomic orbital, right? Fulfilled will be there. That is a stable. That's why instead of writing 9, we are writing 10 here. This copper and chromium are the exceptional cases. Okay, here. So 3d10 4s1. Then silver is 4d9 5s2. Arum is 5d9 6s2. Here comes here zinc. Zinc is 30, right? 10 will be there. So 20. Whatever 30 only. 3d10 4s2. Cadmium is 4d10 5s2. Mercury is 5d10 6s2. Now we just see here, to follow the effective atomic number, what are the complex is having, that effective atomic number should be matched with the noble gas configurations. Okay, then we know, then we say that it follows the EAN effect, EAN rule. Okay, so what is the EAN? It is very important to calculate. In some questions they will ask you to calculate the EAN. EAN means effective atomic number. That means the total number of electrons which are there with the metal atom. Okay, whatever the electrons are there in the metal atom, that we call as the effective atomic number. Effective atomic number is equal to atomic number minus oxidation state plus 2 into coordination number. So that is the formula. Atomic number, that you should know first of all. Atomic number minus oxidation state. So you have to know how to find out the oxidation state. Then plus 2 into coordination number. You know the coordination number also, how to find out the coordination number. Suppose first we will calculate EAN. Okay, for this compound. Suppose cobalt. What is the atomic number for cobalt? 27. I told you, right? 27. EAN is equal to 27 minus what is the oxidation number here? See here, cobalt. This is a neutral compound. So neutral compound means 0. Plus here 2 molecules of -1. Okay, -1. Okay? Cobalt, here we take it as a plus. So X, this is 0, 2 molecules of -1 is equal to +1. That means X is equal to +3. X is equal to +3 we are getting here. So what is the oxidation number of cobalt? +3. So here we get +3 coordination oxidation state. So here -3 atomic number minus oxidation state plus 2 into coordination number. What is the coordination number here? 4, 2. That means 6. So coordination number here is 6. Now just calculate here. 27, 2 6 are 12, minus 3. 27 minus 3 is 24. 24 plus 12. That means 36. It follows the EAN rule. It follows the EAN rule. Why it is following? Here in 3D series krypton is having 36. That means it is also matching with the 36. That means it follows the EAN rule. Okay. Suppose you just take this one. Here also you just calculate EAN. EAN is equal to, clearly just see here. Okay. What is the atomic number of nickel? 28. So 28 minus, what is the oxidation state here? Nickel. Here minus 4 will come, right? Minus 4 is equal to minus 2. That means minus 4 we are sending that side. So it will become plus 2. That means the oxidation state of nickel will be plus 2. So 28 minus 2 plus 2 into coordination number. What is the coordination number here? 4. Only 4 ligands are connected to the nickel. So into 4. Now we just see here. 28 minus 2 is 26. 26 8. So what is the EAN of this one? 14 that 34. And it is not following the EAN rule. See, at 36, if 36 comes, that means it is following the EAN rule. Or 54 comes, EAN rule. Then 86 will come, that is EAN rule. Radon, right? Radon, krypton, xenon, radon. So that way. So it is following the EAN rule, it's not following the EAN rule. But the thing is, we have to find out the effective atomic number. They ask that what is the effective atomic number. Otherwise, they will ask you that does it follow the EAN rule? That way. To follow the EAN rule, they should get this type of this many electrons. Okay. And what is VEC? These also will calculate here. Okay. Valence electronic configuration. So here instead of taking atomic number, in VEC we take valence electrons. Okay. Valence electrons. What are the valence electrons present in the cobalt? In cobalt, what is the valence electrons? 7 plus 2. So 9 valence electrons are there. 9 minus oxidation state is 3 plus 2 into 6. 9 minus 3 is 6 plus 12. 18. So valence electron configuration is 18. They have given here. We got here. So you calculate VEC here. For nickel, what are the valence electrons? For nickel, see, 8, 2. That means 10 electrons we have here. So 10 minus oxidation state plus 2 into coordination number. So we get here 10 minus 2 is 8 plus 2 4s are 8. That means 16 electrons. Okay. So this is about the EAN and VEC. If it has to follow the EAN rule, then you have to get at least 36 or 54, 86. I mean the configuration of noble gases. Then it follows the EAN rule. So EAN, how to calculate the EAN rule, and how can you calculate the valence electrons configuration VEC. So that is about that one. And please try to note down this one. Okay, valence electrons you have to take it. So when we do the VBT, I mean valence band electron theory and all, when we do the VBT, or when we are going to do the field strength, crystal field strength, that is very important, right? So while doing that, you should know, by seeing the molecule itself, you have to tell that, by seeing that atom, you have to tell that what is the valence electrons present in that way. So you just try to remember this way, and I told you how to remember it. See, vanadium is 23. 23 means 3 electrons will be there in D, and remain S2 will be common for all. S2 3D3 4S2. Suppose manganese is there. Manganese is 25. So that means 5 electrons will be D5. So 4S2. 3D5 4S2. Suppose iron is there. Iron is 26. So 6 electrons will be in D. 3D6 4S2. So while saying the valence electrons, you have to say that 6 plus 2 8. 3D6 4S2. So 8 electrons will be valence electrons. If you remember this one, it is very easy for you to calculate the field strengths. Okay, then you can calculate the VBT. In VBT, sp3 hybridization, mu and all, we have to calculate it. And all that we'll see in the next class. Till then it is enough. I mean, what are the basics? How can you calculate the oxidation number, coordination number, and EAN, effective atomic number, and VEC and all. So with this, we'll conclude this class. And thank you. If you like my video, then just subscribe it, like it, and share it. Thank you.